Hey,
Oh,
what's
really
up? Hello. Welcome to the 9th day of the Toronto International Film Festival. I got Arnaud here, and I just saw, I forgot to record beforehand, but I just saw Concrete Utopia. Arnaud just saw Boy and the Heron. I'll talk about Concrete Utopia, and maybe, Arnaud, you can give a couple of thoughts on Boy and the Heron as well. Well, Concrete Utopia, it's a South Korean disaster film. It was really, really strong, honestly. It's South Korea's official submission to the Oscars this year, and this movie follows an apartment block that is the last building standing after an earthquake flattened Seoul. This film ends up being an allegory for fascism and right-wing thought, the way that it becomes very easy to demonize people and create a class of others, and to put all of your problems on them, demonize them, and lock them out as a fear tactic and a way to strengthen your togetherness. And it ends up being a very riveting disaster film and political allegory. Definitely check this one out when you get a chance. Very, very strong. Filmmaking is great. It reminded me a lot of Snowpiercer, or some other Bong Joon-ho films. I'm not just saying that because it's South Korean, I'm saying that because of the allegory and some of the action sequences within. Now, Arnaud.
Do you think it could get shortlisted?
I do think it could get shortlisted.
Yeah.
I do think it could get shortlisted. I don't think it would make the nomination, but
Yeah.
I could see it getting onto the shortlist. I want to hear from you about Boy and the Heron.
Okay.
What do you think?
Okay, I just told you some thoughts before we recorded, but I'd say, Miyazaki to me has never made an inaccessible film, but this might be his least accessible film.
Yeah,
I can see some
agree.
people when this comes out, there's going to be half of the people are going to be like, oh, this is not like pure Miyazaki. This is not as good as his other stuff. I would beg to differ. I think it was fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
I still, it's not my favorite. It's not like you were saying it's like mid-tier Miyazaki or something like that.
I mean, that said, mid-tier Miyazaki is still excellent. It's fantastic. It's not top tier, but it's a 9 out of 10 for me.
I haven't seen as many Miyazaki. I think I've seen this is my 6th Miyazaki.
Wow,
so I still have some catching up to do. But this to me is like, okay, so it's basically Miyazaki is taking the sensibility that he brought to the table from The Wind Rises, in that, him reflecting on his own life and his own way of dealing with grief and post-war Japan mentality, etc. But he's also returning to the worlds, to his fantastic worlds akin to My Neighbor Totoro and Spirited Away.
Spirited Away.
The opening, the first the first 5 or 10 minutes really reminded me of My Neighbor Totoro, in that, we're moving into this house on this,
as well as a little bit of Grave of the Fireflies.
Yeah, perhaps, but I was really thinking about Totoro because, it's this kind of, here it's just one boy settling into a new home in rural Japan, and there's this kind of world just on the perimeter, but instead of them kind of interliving with each other the way Totoro is, here we have essentially this portal to what is Miyazaki's most hellish fantasy world to date, right?
Yeah.
Instead of this being a mystical, marvelous, although maybe slightly dangerous world, here it's people call it a hellscape. Obviously it's not hell in that there are devils, there's fire, there's fire.
There is fire.
It's not like
and there
hell
aren't
where
devils,
it's
there are just birds with knives.
yeah,
that wanna eat you.
birds are assholes. If I learned anything from that,
Yeah.
and also bird poop is an underexploited comedy thing to do, and he exploits this. I love bird poop now. Bird poop is I laugh my ass off at some of the bird poop scenes. So it's a film that you're going to need to digest, and I can say that with The Wind Rises, the more I let time do its thing, the more I love the film. I think this is going to do something similar. I do agree with Oscar expert in that the main character is kind of can go into anime stereotype, in that, it's kind of blank slate but slightly brave,
Yeah,
and it's
yeah.
that's such a good way to describe him, that kind of anime stereotype, and I kind of wish that we knew a little bit more about him, so that it could be a more singular experience. But I do really like what this film, Miyazaki loves to, and Studio Ghibli in general, loves to tackle post-war Japan, a country looking for its own identity, and this film kind of does that through mystical worlds and through this boy's journey, kind of trying to find the world he wants to live in, kind of. It's not like as blatantly obvious as that, but that's kind of some of what I saw into it. Yeah, you guys. I hope you guys enjoy the film. It's not like. It's not his best, like some of his best, but I think I still need to process this. I think
it's one that would benefit from a rewatch.
Yeah, but it is, it's really, it's like as far as crafts forms, the form of the film goes, it's just as good if like it's on par as his other stuff.
Now, Arnaud, question for you.
Yeah.
Is this winning People's Choice Award?
Absolutely not. Like you guys need to stop getting on that. Like I said, a lot of people are going to be like, this is not the Miyazaki I'm used to. What like this is.
It's not winning People's Choice. Give it up.
Get off that.
Give it up. Give it up. All right, I'm now on my way to the new Pedro Almodovar short film, Strange Way of Life. There was a couple screenings that got added last minute, so I was like, you know what? Screw it. I guess I'll go see this movie. I'm not gonna see it in theaters otherwise, so I might as well. It's only 30 minutes long, and it should be a nice time. It should be really good to just, sit down for a short little bit, and then afterwards be free to, I don't know, do something else for a little, rather than subject myself to another 2-hour film, especially one that maybe I'm not enthusiastic for. So instead, I'm going to see a new short film that I'm really, really pumped for, which I did not expect to be seeing at the festival. It's going to be good. Sorry to say it, Strange Way of Life was not good, I'm going to be honest. This new short film by Pedro Almodovar reminded me a lot of student films, and I feel like I know quite a bit about student films because I was a film student. I made a lot of student films, I watched a lot of my classmates' student films, and the thing about student films is that when you're making a short, as a student, you want to be going all out. You're trying to prove what you can do, you're trying to make the movies you love, and you're trying to recreate the moments you love in those movies that you love. Now, the thing about that is that a short film and a feature are very, very, very different mediums. With a feature, you have time to build out characters, to build to those big moments of drama, of people yelling at each other. And at that point in a feature, we understand the characters, we know who they are, where they're coming from. And when you do that type of thing in a short film, it immediately feels amateur. It just feels like a director who wants to make characters yell at each other because it's good for drama. That's not great when we don't understand who these people are, who they are to each other, when the film has to spend time telling us, oh, remember when we did this, remember when we did that. It just doesn't work as well. And in Strange Way of Life, this film really, really focuses on characters telling us, oh, remember when we did this, remember when we did that, oh, that was such a crazy moment. It's a classic case of telling rather than showing, and it reminded me so much of student films. As well, they launch into arguments and screaming matches against each other when it really doesn't feel appropriate. We don't really know these people. It feels like it's an excerpt of a larger feature, or that it wanted to be that. And in that way, I do think this film was a bit of a miss. I loved Almodovar's last short film, The Human Voice, because it felt like it was a contained story. It felt small. Strange Way of Life was trying to be too much. But anyways, now I'm heading off to the rush line for The New Boy starring Cate Blanchett. And I'm not sure about this one. I've heard mixed things, so I guess I'll have to see. But yeah, I've heard it's a little bit dull, a little slow. Might be a little bit of a hard watch this far into the festival. But I like the filmmaker behind it, Warwick Thornton, so I am excited. Another successful rush line. So I just got out of The New Boy starring Cate Blanchett. And I really liked this one. It had some mixed reviews out of Cannes, so I was not knowing exactly what to expect, but I was really pleasantly surprised. Cate Blanchett obviously gives an incredible performance, but the star of the show is the kid, Aswan, I can't remember his last name, but the kid who played the new boy. It's really a fascinating film that has a lot of layers to it, and how it speaks about religious indoctrination and the forced cultural genocide of Aboriginal people in Australia and around the world. Similar things happen everywhere. They happen in Canada, they happen in the States, they happen in Australia. And this is a powerful movie. Side note, I just got Cheetos popcorn for free, so that's cool. Anyways, yeah, this is it's a powerful film, beautifully shot, has some really interesting moments of allegory to it. Yeah, this was a really strong film, and I don't know where those mixed reviews came from Cannes. This one was excellent. Honestly, I think I've been pleasantly surprised by pretty much everything at the festival. There have been very few films that I've really been disappointed by. There have also been very few films that have really blown me away. So I've just kind of ended up being like, yeah, that's really good for the majority of films here, which is nice, you know? There's few home runs, but there's few complete misses. And The New Boy was a really, really strong film that I think deserves more credit than it has gotten so far, and I hope it will get that credit very soon. But anyways, I am going to stand in the rush line for Fair Play. We'll see. If I don't get into Fair Play, it's not the end of the world. It comes out on Netflix in like less than a month's time. So if I get in, cool. If not, then I will just take some time and get some stuff done. As a side note, these, not a fan. Not a fan. I'm telling you, I just can't lose. I think this is just like my shot now that I do whenever I get a ticket. There we go. Fair Play. Holy shit, Fair Play is awesome. The script is so fucking smart. There are incredible Chekhov's guns. It bookends in a perfect way. Like, oh my god, scene after scene is just like flame emojis? I don't know, that's a shitty way to describe it, but it's just like, it gets going and it never stops. It just like grabs you and never lets go. Every single scene, the way that the dialogue, the conflict builds up, it feels so natural, and that's all guided by the two performances. Phoebe Dynevor, Alden Ehrenreich are both fucking incredible in this. Oh my god, the thing that's coming to mind immediately in terms of how good their performances are and how well they deliver on some of these argument scenes, it reminds me of some of the scenes from Marriage Story. I know a lot of people didn't like those argument scenes, but that's just what this was giving me in terms of the way that it builds up, the fire that you feel, the tension between the two performers. It's fantastic. Great writing, great acting. What more could you ask for in a sort of kind of thriller, but not really? It's more of a drama. I don't know. This one was really, really goddamn good. Phoebe Dynevor is going to be a star. Already is. She has that quality, that star power. Yeah. Oh god. Really, really impressed with this one. Check it out on Netflix ASAP, because I think it releases on October 6th on Netflix. Fucking incredible work. Anyways, I am heading to line up for my final film of the day, which is going to be a rush line for Michel Franco's Memory. It starts in an hour and a half, but I got nothing better to do. I might as well go hit that line right now and just wait for a little bit. So, see you over there. Another one. Gotta meet Arnaud and our friend Adam Magoyan in there. Okay, so I just got out of Memory by Michel Franco. This film stars Peter Sarsgaard and Jessica Chastain. It was honestly pretty good. I'm not going to call it one of my favorites of the festival, but it was a very good film and an interesting meditation on memory and how memory can be changed and manipulated, and specifically about a character who has relentlessly gaslit herself and let herself be gaslit for the past 20 years. This story's very morally complex, and it leaves a lot of questions on your mind. I know for me, by the end, I was definitely wondering some things, if what we were told was true, or if there was a little bit more, or if we were denying the truth just because it's more convenient not to express what is true, not to live in the discomfort of the truth, but instead to just pretend as though our memories are lying to us. There's so much to dissect in this film, and it's very interesting. Now that said, it's a good film, but there was some stuff about it that didn't quite connect with me. I found the pacing to be a little bit too slow at times, and while on a thematic level it really was interesting and resonated with me, it didn't really impact me on a deeper level. I wasn't really feeling too much for these characters, and that's a crappy criticism, but ultimately, for a film, I want to engage with it on a different level there. And while I engaged with this film a lot intellectually, it didn't really strike me in the gut the way that I typically want out of a film. Now, Sarsgaard, I think, is fantastic in this movie, as is Jessica Chastain. Two of the best performances that I've seen at the festival, definitely up there at least. Anyways, I'm headed home for the day. I'm a little tired out, and tomorrow I'm going to be seeing Next Goal Wins in the morning, which I'm excited for? I don't know anymore. I think it'll be fun. I like Taika Waititi. It'll be fun, to say the least. I'm not sure it's going to be good, but it will be a laugh. And yeah, thank you so much again for watching, and I will see y'all tomorrow. Hey, what's up? Hello, everyone. Welcome into day 10 of TIFF. There's only one day left after this one, and I'm only seeing 3 movies today. Starting it off with Next Goal Wins, which I'm off to right now, as long as the theater is not full. I don't think it will be, but it could be. Just putting that out there as like a, oh shit, what if it is? I don't think it will be. It's a Saturday morning. This movie's screened 5 times. I think I'm fine, but we'll see. And then after that, later on, I'm seeing Close Your Eyes, and then I'm seeing Inside the Yellow Cocoon Shell. So it should be a really good day. I'm doing a double bill back-to-back of Close Your Eyes, Inside the Yellow Cocoon Shell. If you don't know what those movies are, both of them are 3-hour-plus long art house films. So it's going to be a long one. It's going to be a long day. It's going to be a tiring day. Life's good. Breakfast of champions. And some Taika Waititi. So let's go for it. All right, just got out of Next Goal Wins. Yeah, it's mediocre. It's a feel-good sports movie with some good jokes, some jokes that really don't land. If you are a big fan of Taika Waititi, you're gonna find some stuff to love in this. If Taika Waititi annoys the shit out of you, you're gonna be annoyed by this movie. It has its moments. It definitely will make you feel good. And I feel like if I wasn't a little bit burnt out on Taika Waititi, and I feel like if everyone wasn't a little burnt out on Taika Waititi, people would probably be much more enthusiastic about this one. This is not going to be a People's Choice contender. It's not going to be an Oscar contender. I feel like it's a bit of a crowd pleaser that some people are really definitely going to get behind, but it doesn't have the same broad appeal, and it's not unique. I think that's the thing. Everyone's going to think it's fine, but there's going to be very few who really, really want to go to bat and ride for this one. It's, again, it just isn't a movie that's going to spark passion from people. Anyways, I'll catch y'all in a couple hours when I come back for Close Your Eyes, which I've heard amazing things about. Hopefully, it's a little bit more juicy than this one was. All right, so story time. I was so far behind on my little last bit of moving, and I thought I was gonna miss the movie, so I sprinted. I was sprinting the entire way, and I was late to the movie. By the time I got here, I was so goddamn out of breath. Ran the whole way. Anyways, I made it. I was like literally right on time. There was like 3 seats left. God damn, it was a close call, is what I'm gonna say. Anyways, I just saw Close Your Eyes, the new film by Victor Erickson, And this movie is a return of an old master. Basically, Victor Arice, he has not made any films for probably over 30 years now. He has been out of the game for a very long time. And this is his return to the medium of cinema, and potentially also his goodbye, because he's very, very old now. But this film is a bit of a mystery to me. I don't know really what to make of it. It tells the story of a director of a film that shot 23 years ago and was never completed because the lead actor just vanished and walked away and just disappeared. And so it kind of follows what happened. And so it kind of follows as he tries to figure out what happened to his lead actor. And there's... and I won't say too much about the plot, because I don't think it's a movie that's really about the plot. It's about the themes, about cinema as a way to capture a moment in time. Honestly, I don't fully know what to make of it. I know that I liked it, but I wouldn't say I loved it. And I think I probably just need to watch it again to really figure it out, or talk to some people, or read some stuff. At this point, I just don't really know what to make of this movie. But we'll see. We'll see. I'll read a little bit more, and maybe my opinion on it will grow a little bit. At this point, I'd say I like it, but I'm kind of like, so-so. I'm not sure what to make of it. Anyways, though, I'm now going to hop in the rush line for Inside the Yellow Cocoon Shell. Very excited for this one.
How doing? It's day 10. Can you believe it?
Woo!
Woo! Thanks for making out late at night. I truly hope this...
So I just got out of Inside the Yellow Cocoon Shell. It was a little boring. I don't know what to make of it. I need to think about it more. But these guys just saw Hitman. I want to hear what you guys thought.
Glenn Powell.
Star-making turn.
Yeah, star-making turn.
Really, he's incredible in this. And
It's like a chameleon performance.
right? Yeah, that's kind of the easy adjective to add to it. But what a fun film. What a really just like well crafted, well packaged, oiled machine. You know, the crowd was eating it up. Lots of really great, memorable quotes. It's one of the most accessible and fun Richard Linklater. It feels very Richard Linklater. It feels very old school.
Yeah. It reminded me of School of Rock in the way it was like, it sort of blends, it's sort of like him being like Richard Linklater, but also making like emotions.
Yeah.
I agree with this School of Rock comparison. It's School of Rock meets Bernie for me.
Just a really good time. It's not something like I'm gonna carry through the rest of the year and be like, oh, this was one of the best films of the year, and like absolutely like you guys have to see this. But it's like one of the most entertaining films. Absolutely.
I think it was.
And Glenn Powell, Jesus, like I cannot stress enough.
His charisma.
Like this guy is incredible.
I want him to at least get a Golden Globe nomination for it.
That would be
Just like any recognition whatsoever.
Yeah, I think it's my favorite of the year so far. And I was saying to them earlier, it's just the kind of movie you want to be made. Something more original, wraps up itself nicely.
It's a great script too. So I don't want to get into any spoilers, but did you guys have a problem with the fact that it basically framed the real dude?
Yeah.
They said it at the end.
I know, but it's still like
He's a chill dude.
so.
It's like the kind of respected episode.
Well, first of all, it's very clear at the end that the true story happens in the 70s, and then we're dealing with, we have iPhones in the film, right? So, at the very start of the film, I think it says inspired by the life of Gary Johnson.
Some of this
there is a certain, exactly. So there is like a certain distanciation that the film makes from the get-go, and that is the right thing to do. And it's clearly a work of entertainment, not a work of
It's not
realism.
a biopic.
Actually,
Exactly.
Not a biopic.
It is,
at all.
it's a story created based on some of the things that might have happened,
But he did that stuff.
Yeah. Anyways, those are the thoughts on Hitman. Go see it. It's so good. Okay, but back to Inside the Yellow Cocoon Shell, because I didn't say much about it. It's a very slow, very meditative film. This is a Vietnamese film. It played at Cannes, where it won the Camera d'Or, which is the prize for the best debut film. This one it's really beautifully crafted, but it's also very slow. And I'm gonna be honest, I just think that I either missed the point or the point just wasn't very interesting. It was beautiful, slow, meditative in a way that allowed me to kind of relax into the image. Every shot was a couple minutes long, and it kind of puts you into a trance. But that said, the characters, the story, the overall themes of it all, they just weren't that interesting to me. It's not a film that I think I'm going to be drawn to go back to. And honestly, there were some times in there, I never got tired during the film, but there were times when I got a little antsy, a little like shifty. I wanted to know when it was going to be done, because it was a 3-hour-long movie too. Anyways, that's the end of my very short TIFF day. I only did 3 movies today, and tomorrow is the final day of the festival. We're going to know who the People's Choice winner is, which by the time this video is posted, you will already know who the People's Choice winner is. I don't, though. And anyways, tomorrow I'm also going to be recording a list of my TIFF Oscars, my awards in all of the Oscar categories for all the films that I will have seen at TIFF. I will have seen over 70 films that are playing at the festival this year, and I will give you my my list of nominations based on all of those. But until then, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow.